And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics TV show. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
And as everyone can tell, this has been one hell of a week.
It keeps us exciting. What a fun time.
Yes. We're definitely going to talk about the big story towards the end. But
Mm-hmm.
we're going to start off with something interesting. Hey Meryl, it's this new thing now where I guess there's this extreme hotels or whatever you want to call them. Like for example, there's I guess sleeping quarters or whatever that you can do over in the mountains where it's like a glass pod that you're in and it's like high up in the mountains. Is that something you do?
No, heck no. I'm not doing any glass pods unless it overlooks like a buffet or no, definitely not. I feel like any hotel room that or stay where I have to climb or like take a chairlift or get elevated to, no thank you.
I mean, I guess people want extreme, but to me, um, fearing for my life is not fun to me. If I go
Yeah,
to a hotel, I want to relax and have a good time.
exactly. Except I think the one exception I would make is like I see a lot with the African safaris. They'll have hotels where you like the giraffes will come in and but you're
Oh
not
yeah.
out there with the lions and you're very protected. But I feel like that would be the only time that I would want to be like immersed in what I'm doing uh in
I
my
can see that.
like I
You're
think
like,
that's cool.
oh yeah, like if you're like in one of those safari hotels where you go out your balcony and there's a giraffe walking past you, but you're in an actual building, so I'm good with that.
Yeah. Not this. I would not. I don't want to be on display in a glass. There's like those. There's kind of like stays where you could also stay like on a cliff, basically, but you're in a hammock. And I'm like, this is also. Are people that bored? Where like you need that much
I
adrenaline?
see. I'm thinking to myself, if that rope breaks, yeah, you're pretty much
I
done.
know. I know. I just can't imagine like wanting to do that in my off time, or like knowing me, I would forget where I am and like bump into it in the middle of the night or something.
Ooh. Well, at least you won't realize it if you fall over. So
Another one that's like I forget what the name is, but it's in Canada, and this one actually looks amazing. They're on Instagram and TikTok, and it's like you're in a glass, like you're in a really nice room, but it's glass, and then the outside overlooks a bunch of wolves, and like
oh wow.
you're basically in like a nature preserve with wolves and elk and like all these Canadian type animals. And so when it's winter out, it's like you're in this room, and then the outside are these wolves like by the snow. And Instagram and TikTok makes it look so cool that like I'd want to do that, but I don't want to have to like ride a wolf into the sunset like to get to my room or anything. Like I will drive in and then nicely be there, but no.
I hear you. I mean, I tip my hat off to him, but yeah, I'll take your standard room over that any day of the week.
Yeah. What if this like what if it's like Holiday Inn rebranding or something and they're just trying this like a different branding of like a hotel we know?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, you know.
No.
But yeah, call me chicken, but no, I won't be doing that.
No way. Me neither. Well, mine is kind of travel related too, and we I think we're very happy. You didn't fly anywhere this weekend, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, I don't think I've ever not had FOMO so much as this weekend because I was like, I am so happy I made no travel plans. I feel like the past couple of years we're definitely seeing a trend like not to. It's nice not to travel in like the height of July and June because I remember this happened last year and everyone was losing their minds. This year, not only was it like mayhem traveling, but obviously we had like the huge global cyber outage which affected, that's a whole story in itself if you want to talk more about that. But like travel wise, it shut down a bunch of different airlines. And as of yesterday, Delta was still melting down and hadn't started booking flights. Delta was the worst of it. And they said the meltdown had ensnared 500,000 people, ruined holiday and travel plans, and even prompted a federal investigation because Delta, like, weirdly didn't start back up when other airlines did. Um, and yeah, I want to see, like, did you see any of that on your algorithm? Like, were any of your friends or family affected?
Oh, You know what? I don't know anyone who's affected, but oh yeah, I definitely saw that. I mean, it's literally all over social media, it's all over the news. The one thing that I'm really shocked at, obviously when that outage first hit, it hit all the airlines.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Delta is still having issues.
Yeah. And like the Atlanta airport, I heard was so crazy. People were
Hmm.
sleeping on the floor. Like I just saw so many
Yes.
videos of everyone sleeping.
Mm.
I know that was like, and of course, like everyone has having a connection through Atlanta is like a major hub. So I think that
Hmm.
really affected people. I felt so bad. I saw a TikTok with a girl saying that that was the day of her wedding and family were flying in. And it's like, I can't imagine just having your wedding day, half of like no one's able to get there. So it's almost like, what do you do? Would that kind of count as like an act of God where they give you a refund or like that? Those things are so tricky.
I would think so. I mean, one funny thing that happened during it, um, this family was on their way for vacation, okay? And the husband, took a later flight. I don't know if he had to work or whatever, but he was going to meet him down there. Well, of course, all this blew up and he couldn't even rent a car. So what he did, he rented a U-Haul truck and drove, I think, 3 or 4 hours to get to his family.
Hey, that like the whole like if he wanted to, he would. I think that's so good. That's so good. And it's like $19 an hour, right, for a U-Haul. So he probably like it's probably way cheaper.
You know what? I would have never thought to rent a U-Haul, but actually that is pretty smart,
It
you
makes
know.
sense. Now it's like, what if instead of Winnebagos or like those big trailers or anything, people are just renting U-Hauls like for their family?
Believe it or not, depending on the cost, it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. I saw a lot on my timeline, a lot of my traveling comedian friends, like someone I know had a show in Chicago and she had to get to
Mm.
it. And it was like all these people were posting like, can someone please drive me from Washington, DC to Pennsylvania? Everyone was, and those are moments where like I love seeing it because I saw a lot of people helping each other out and just being like, my cousin lives in Washington, I'll help drive you. Like, I think that's so sweet when everyone just
Oh,
helps each
absolutely.
other.
Yeah. I mean, I know they were talking about possibly, charging Delta Airlines with a crime. How that works out, I don't know how you charge a business, but I guess there's a way to do it. But it's kind of crazy because I guess tomorrow they're supposed to be back up and running because they're still
Oh,
having
what
issues
a
today.
nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, it said that and then it said, the canceled flights by the 2 carriers, which are Delta and Delta Connection, represented nearly 70% of all the flights that have been canceled the whole week. So no
Wow.
other US airline had, canceled 1/10 as many flights, and so, obviously, it looks like the transportation Department of Transportation is like, "You all good here? Like, what's going on?" Hence yeah,
Hmm.
exactly, hence the investigation because it's like, what is going on? And I mean, I've also heard it also seems like the employees are losing their minds. And it's just one of those things where, like, I can't even imagine working at Delta and having to deal with that many people. I wonder how many employees just like straight up quit this week?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's already a stressful job, believe it or not. Most people don't realize.
Yeah.
But dealing with something like this, and then, of course, you're going to have those asshole customers that just
Right.
have to be difficult for whatever reason. So, yeah, I tip my hat off to them because I don't think I could do that.
No. And then I love all the things I've seen where like Spirit and Southwest are still flying. So it's like everyone's watching their flights pass over them and then just
Yeah, that is kind of funny though. And the sad part about it is Delta Airlines is actually a pretty nice airlines.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just gonna say too, I feel like in the recent years, their reputation is one of the rare ones that has actually gone up. Like I think we talked about this before, but like JetBlue, I feel like had a real fall from grace last year because everyone loves JetBlue. Like the experience of it is so nice, but they had a million canceled flights, and I feel like they've kind of like PR wise gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
And same with like United and all those ones, like I feel like have just really gone downhill. But I feel like Delta has remained, like yeah, like as you said, a really good, like a good reputation. So I wonder, what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite sure it'll come out eventually. Um, it just shows that you never know what's going to happen, so you got to pretty much be patient when you're flying, and just
Yeah,
expect the worst. And the thing is too is no matter how frustrating it is, just know that hey, you know, shit happens. Let it roll off your back and just deal with it as the best way you can.
Exactly.
Getting angry about the situation, which I know some people are like, well, it's easy for you to say that, but if you can't do anything about it at that time, just take a deep breath.
Exactly. And what I think the transportation, the whole industry can do is also knowing that, like, making sure that these people are meeting their bare minimums of like, because I think what also happens is these circumstances, passengers get like dehydrated and overheated, and then people start like freaking out and panicking. So I feel like
True.
even just the simple things of keeping the airports like cool enough, making sure there's plenty
Yes.
of free water, there's like outlets. I think that could help take the
Oh,
temperature down
absolutely.
of
Yeah.
everyone, because I think that's what I see people like losing their minds. But I understand when you're kind of stuck and there's no hotels, then it's like you start to go a little berserk.
That's true. That's true. And the sad part is certain things you can plan for, but this is one of those things where no
Right.
one saw it coming.
Now with me not flying any Boeings too, now it's really looking like Spirit Airlines is my it's like not only like every day there's like a new airline I have to count out, because I think this also hides the news of like I've also seen little stories here and there about like a Boeing losing its wheel, or like it seems like every day there's like something that has to overshadow this. So
That's true. Well, like I said, let's hope they get this fixed very fast.
let's do it. But it makes me, usually I feel bad that I'm not flying to like Italy or going on cool vacations. And this weekend I was like, I am so happy to be homebound.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of homebound, did you hear about the story with Miss Kansas City?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Um, I know it's been all over the internet, but in case you haven't heard out there, she was actually in the middle of a pageant, and she spoke on domestic abuse.
Mhm.
And one of the things that caught everyone by surprise is when she said, "My abuser is out in the audience."
Yeah.
Um, I believe that everyone should speak their piece. They should speak their truth. You know, do you think that that was the appropriate time, or do you think she should have did it at a different time?
Um, I definitely don't. I mean, yes and no. I don't think it's like really the appropriate time, because I mean I want her to be able to like face her accuser, and of course like get any sort of safety slash like retribution, or like of course absolutely. But I'm like, okay, this is your moment. I think maybe later on she could have like won it, or spoken out and then taken it to the media afterwards. I just would fear that that now like her name becomes more tied with this than the actual like herself as a character and herself. But I mean, maybe not. Maybe this like raised the awareness of her even more. So in that case, like I think that's awesome to do. Um,
Mhm,
I just wish almost that she didn't even like allow her abuser, like she notified security or something. Like I wish he wasn't even there to begin with.
mhm. I mean, when I first heard the story, I was shocked. Um, and I think after I thought about it for a while, I think that in her mind, that may have been a safe place for her
Mhm.
to make that statement. Reason being is that you're in a place with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of security there,
Yes.
so which means that this person cannot approach her.
Right. And now everyone knows, and there's no denying it too. Or there, I mean, there's denying it, but there's no like kind of like going around. Basically, it's like, okay, you're naming this person. They're there. I think that's great.
Mhm. And the other thing it does too, it forces that person to back off because now people are going to be looking at her differently. And when I mean differently, not in a bad way, but they're going to be paying attention to her like her close friends and family a lot more than they have in the past.
Yeah. Yep. And I think too, if I mean, even if this lights the way for like one other person to feel better about speaking up, or just
Mhm.
showing moments of where people are like talking to a big group of people or talking publicly about their abuser, and like that helps kind of like light the way for others, then I feel like that's a success in of
I
itself.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And the thing is that in this day and age, it's kind of sad that people still have to go through that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. Nope, I think
Yeah,
so
but
too. I wonder. I didn't read the article in terms of like. I wonder how the pageant in or like the sponsors feel or like because I hope the people that run the event are kind to her and not like look what you did. We have a lot of investors in this or like I hope she doesn't get in trouble.
you know, they may in their minds, unfortunately, some people have an issue with it, but they still have to tread lightly because
Yeah.
her story went viral.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
And it's like yeah, yeah.
so because of all the people watching, that would not be a good look for the pageant if they really did come down on her or even chastise her for it, to me.
Right. And like what a brave move too, because especially the pageant world, it's not like that's almost see those girls are supposed to be seen as like perfect and almost doll like and untouchable. And for someone to bring up
Hmm.
something that's so like murky and some not seen as beautiful, I think that's a really cool, like brave move on her end.
Absolutely. Well, we'll definitely pray for her, though.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, someone that also needs our prayers is singer Sean Kingston, which I
Mm.
kind of like. I mean, I don't know anything about Sean Kingston. I do like some of his songs. But recently he is in big trouble because him and his mom, were indicted in a $1 million wire fraud scheme. They were indicted in Miami on Friday on wire fraud charges. The two stand accused of obtaining over $1 million in property in a bank wire scheme. They can face up to 20 years in prison, which like I don't know how old his mom is, but I mean that's not a lot. They say that the two stole $500,000 in jewelry, $160,000 from a Cadillac Escalade dealer, and I mean it goes on and on. Like a customized bed maker, Bank of America, First Republic Bank. So they were like hitting it all from all different sides. And they said the mom is already serving a 2-year probation sentence for stolen property. So
Wow.
I have to say though, I mean, I mean, is there any level that it's kind of cute that he's like going into that he's doing this with his mom? Like, or not really.
Well, I mean, I guess you call it a family affair, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the sad part, I do like some of his music, and I know he hasn't really did anything in a long time. Um, I just think that it was such a bad move, because the thing is, in one fell swoop, any chance of making a comeback or anything, I think I probably dashed.
Yeah. And like as a mom, how can you do this knowing that your son is going like not only are you going to prison, but also like wouldn't you want to look out for your son and be like, I don't want you doing anything illegal because I don't want you to go to prison?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there are some parents that they bring their kids into, whatever life they're dealing, you know,
Yeah.
good or bad. And I just think it's such a bad situation all around. And, the thing is that, I know that Sean Kingston got into this business very early, but he's no longer a kid anymore. He's an adult now. He's over that,
Right.
you know. And I think it's just sad because there's so much potential. And like I say, he's extremely talented. I mean,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. But wow, I think it's embarrassing that not only that he did that, but you do that with your mom. Not
I
something you would
know.
picture.
And I wonder, okay, so like I don't really understand how bank wire fraud works. Do you know like do you think they're pretending to pay like so if it's jewelry or like Escalade dealer, like are they pretending to buy something and then it's like when the deal goes through the money's not good or something or like I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know the legalities. I know there's several ways to get charged with wire fraud. The obvious way is to misrepresent yourself with a bunch of lies. Like let's say if you fill out a credit application or fill out paperwork and basically all of it's a lie, and then you get money for it or whatever, that can be considered wire fraud. So
Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
it's so many different ways. Or let's say if you apply for a loan and you put a whole lot of information on there that is not true and you get a loan fraudulently, that could be considered, wire fraud as well too. So without them releasing the details, we don't know what the exact is, but it's just incredible to me when the feds come after you, you kind of you kind of screwed basically, you know.
I know. And I guess that just shows I could see Sean Kingston being lumped in the people that like probably got a really bad contract early on. And even though he has all these singles and like he probably would be making streaming royalties, I could see that like we would probably think he would make so much money, someone like him. But then when it comes down to reality, like how the music industry is, he's probably not even making like a third of what we think he is. So that's not an excuse. That's just like a because I bet a lot of people are like, he's rich. Why would he have to do that? I'm like, I probably bet he's not rich.
Yeah, you know the sad thing is a lot of people think a lot of these artists are rich. Really, only a very, very small percentage of them are truly rich.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't make the money that people think they make.
No, and I've seen musicians be like, okay, I got 1 million downloads and that or 1 million streams on like Spotify. And now I'm getting my check for $4 and like 50 cents, and you know. But that's still not an excuse. But I would have to say I am very close with my mom, and if I was going to commit wire fraud, which I'm not, like it would be a pleasure to do it with my mom. Except my mom would 100% like screw it up somehow, or like she would post it to her Facebook, like I'm happy to commit wire fraud with my daughter. Like it would be a very private affair.
Yeah, let's definitely pray for them that that they can get through this.
I know, Sean Kingston, if you're listening, which we know you are, please, you can do better than this.
Yeah, we're definitely praying for him. Speaking of getting through something, have you heard about the boat that capsized because of the big whale that jumped up and like tipped the boat over?
No, I haven't seen that. I saw like a kayak a few years ago, but not a boat one.
Yeah, there was two fishermen on a boat. They're like a medium-sized boat. I mean, it was a decent-sized boat, and this big, I guess it's a humpback whale, like pierced the water, jumped up, and hit the back of the boat and flipped that boat over.
Oh my gosh!
They said that maybe you know he was spawning for fish or something, you know, when he leaped up, but the power of, I mean, the whale wasn't even phased, you know, it's just literally just, you know, kind of like if I bump into someone, you know, no big deal, you know. But wow, I was very, very shocked. I was like, wow.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, luckily the two fishermen were okay, you know, probably scared the hell out of them, but but otherwise they were okay overall, you know.
Oh my gosh. Do you think, have you seen any time where like people have like fallen in a whale's mouth, or like a whale will open up its mouth and someone will go in? I mean, it sounds very Pinocchio-ish, but like I've heard of that where like someone will be like briefly swallowed by a whale and then like luckily they got out, but someone said that they were in like a whale's like, I almost think of it as like a waiting room where like you're not in the stomach, but you're kind of like in between, and someone was like, I mean, people could let us know if that's scientifically impossible, but I swear I've heard of people saying that they were like stuck in there for a few minutes.
You know what? Adults could get so big that it could happen.
Oh because, my gosh.
You know, their mouth is big enough to where, yeah, a full-size adult can't fit in there, you know.
No way.
Don't know why you would be out there. You know, I guess there's some daredevils out there, you know, just like people, you know, sleeping in the pods way up in the mountains. You know, people want to swim with sharks and whales and stuff. I'm not that adventurous. I'm not doing
that. See, once again, it's like we're not going to be in a glass cage in Peru, like, and we're not going to be in a whale's mouth or anything.
But you know what? I watch it on TV though.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Like when I see people paddle boarding with like orcas around them, or you know that looks so beautiful. But I feel like I would completely fall off and like lose my marbles.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'd be that far out and see with that small of a boat.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, call me boring, but I like stuff, but nah, not that. I don't want to be that.
I know. Yeah, I don't need that energy to it. I also don't need to be like in the ocean capsized from a whale. It's just like I could going out to eat like at home is exactly my level of like excitement. Or just watching a movie or anything.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, well, this one, my next one is pretty weird. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a quick background, and then we can. What I wanted to bring up is basically there's a fashion influencer is suing another creator, alleging she copied her aesthetic, lawyers say the case could have big ramifications. Okay, so basically, there's two creators. I'm not going to talk a lot about them, but there's Sydney Nicole Gifford and then Alyssa Scheel, and pretty much Gifford filed a lawsuit against Scheel because they said that her basically her posting was like copying her aesthetic. Now the funny thing about this, like, I don't expect people to know these people's names or like remember this. Pretty much like what I wanted to bring up is the aesthetic. I thought was like beige and neutral and just very like, everyone has that right now. Like I could think of 10 restaurants in LA that all have the very like neutral white, clean, beige. Like I feel like that's a very clean girl aesthetic, and so my thought is like, when is copying too far? I mean, I've seen videos where TikTok creators are saying like word for word, type of things where they're saying the exact same word and they're doing the exact same like skit or, their entire script is the same, but just like someone dressing the same and painting their room the same is like, I don't know if that's worthy of a lawsuit, but it definitely brings up a whole kind of can of worms with TikTok is like, okay, when you're creating, like, is it supposed to be all original content, or are you stealing from a creator if you're not giving them credit, but you're still doing like the exact same thing? So yeah, I guess I'm more interested in like the bigger story than just this particular one, but I wanted to get your thoughts on like creation and original content and that stuff.
I mean, I guess if they were doing it and they were, literally saying word for word, that's different than, let's say, dressing like someone or even creating a background similar to someone. To me, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah. And this
like,
one is saying that, she copied her neutral beige and cream aesthetics. I'm like, first of all, like I would sue myself for like only decorating and cream aesthetic, but like even with my water bottles in the back, obviously you could tell I'm not living in like a whatever, but still.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, I watched this it's like an animated character that she's at work. Her name's Veronica. I kind of like watching that. About things that you would want to say at your job, but you can't say. She says them.
Yes.
And there's other people that have like copied that. They'll do their own little drawing or whatever, but they'll take the voice and add it to it. It's funny, but to me, that's kind of like that borderline, like you may be, because it can't be everything. So in other words, all right, so I'm wearing a gray shirt right now, and I'm doing our talk show here. Okay, so if I see someone else in a gray shirt doing the talk show, I'm gonna go sue them. Come on now.
Right, exactly. But if there was a show that was like thirsty topics of pop culture, then that's a little something for sure. But like,
exactly, yeah, that would be a little different.
I know,
but it's like, we're in a sue happy society, where if you breathe too hard, someone can sue you. So I think that's taking it a little bit too far. Just okay, let it go. Seriously.
I do too. And the thought of two girls suing each other over like a beige or neutral aesthetic, I'm like, eject me off of this planet. Like I am. If I was an alien, I would like that alone. I would just skip the United States because that to me is like so annoying because that's just like so weird to me. But I think saying someone is copying your aesthetic is a lot different than someone being like exactly how you said, where someone's taking like a series that I'm doing or they're trying to act like their original content is theirs when they've come up with it before. And I think people should always try just give credit, like, or inspiration. And there's no harm in just saying like, hey, I love this girl's aesthetic. She inspires me. This is my take on it. Like, that's wonderful.
Oh, exactly. But, sometimes I wonder if when they're doing this, are they kind of doing this to kind of get their 5 minutes of fame too?
Maybe you would think, and maybe they just have so much money that they could sue each other. But I was going to ask if you had to quote unquote steal someone's aesthetic or like who has like a Instagram or like a vibe or something that you really who's like who does social media right that you're kind of like, oh, I wish like my page looked like that.
Let's see. I guess I don't really have a particular person. Um, I mean, some of the things I like, I know eventually I want to do documentaries, and there's a show called Roots, Finding Your Roots
Oh yeah.
on
That's a
Channel
great show.
11. I like that. Um, I also like watching the UFO type stuff.
Yeah,
The way that stuff is put together.
your
So I
Trekkie
guess
stuff.
it's several different things that I kind of like. Um, but I don't know. I kind of like being original.
Yeah.
Kind of like doing my own thing, doing something nobody else does, and doing it the way I see it do. So that way, it's I don't want to say similar, but if you like talk shows, you're like what I'm doing. If you like arts and crafts, I'd have an arts and crafts show. It's different than what you see someone else, but it's kind of in that same spirit.
Okay, I love that. And yeah, like there'll be more. There's not really like a person's aesthetic that I like so much. It's more almost like what they post. Like I am not like a Selena Gomez fan or anything like that. But what I do like is I feel like over the years, the kind of like it girls seem to post a lot less. And like when they do post, it will be like one picture of their trip to Italy and they'll be eating outside at a table. And like I think that kind of style of posting is way cooler than like posting every single minute. Like I'm sure they're posting to their close friends, but like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of public posting, I think it's so cool if like someone doesn't post anything and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I was in Africa for 4 days. Here are my pictures. I think that's like really cool. Like I just saw this one creator that I like, and she was silent for a while, and then she had one picture of her riding like a Vespa in Italy, and then like nothing else. And like to me, that's like so cool. And I'm just like, oh my god, I wish I could be a little bit more like that than me posting like me eating cereal for breakfast and like posting every single thing I'm doing. So it's almost more like the style of how they post rather than for me like the colors or anything.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree. I agree.
Like I think it's so cool when people are on vacation and they don't post about it until it's either done and like it was like that was a fun time. Thanks, Europe, or and then it's like 5 photos and then I don't hear from them again for like 3 months. I think that is so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, even though I do post every so often when I do something fun or whatever, if I'm on vacation or whatever, I'm kind of weird where I won't post until I'm back. You know,
Really?
you know why? Because it reminds me of that commercial where I forgot what product it was, but it's this woman. She's sitting at the airport and she puts on a post, "I'm off on my vacation," and then there's a burglar that comes on there that texts, "Have fun."
Oh yeah, it's like ADT or something. My mom always told me not to do that. My parents like are old school like that, where they won't post. But
And then he has the mascot and everything with the big smile. Like that is a great
that is
commercial.
so funny. And like, I feel like the last thing anyone on my Facebook wants to do is like burglarize me. I think that definitely goes along with how it used to be too in like neighborhoods. I think my life now like wouldn't make sense, but like my parents when they were living in Pennsylvania, it's like, oh, if the community knows that you're gone, then burglars may happen. But I feel like no one would look at my Instagram and think, oh, I'm gonna go rob her 1 bedroom now. So, if anything, they would feel bad for me, and like I'd come home and people would have put like coffee makers and like they would give me nice plates and everything. Maybe I should try that more. But yeah, I don't do that. But no, I post like every 5 seconds when I'm on a vacation. I'm like eating lunch, eating dinner, like there's no mystery whatsoever. So that's cool that you're mysterious.
I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I guess.
No, no, you're smart and adult. I'm just like the thought of like landing in Italy and then being quiet about it for 2 weeks is just so foreign to me. No pun intended.
Talk about being foreign. There's a new theaters. Well, actually, there's about 50 of them around the country, and they're not 3D, but 4D theaters. Basically, what happens is that you get the feeling of the movie. Like they're showing Twister in these theaters for the 4Ds. So your seat literally moves. You feel wind. They give you an option. Do you want to feel water? So like if they're like going through a sea on the movie or whatever, there's water coming at you, whatever. And they showed how intense this stuff could be. And sometimes you got your popcorn flying all over the place,
Yeah.
wet and all this. And I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I'm like, that would not be fun to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
No, especially since like so the water. Do you know? Is it just like a spray, or it's not like? I mean, I can't think of anything more uncomfortable than sitting in a movie theater, like being like wet. You know, like in Disney. I don't know if like Disneyland. They have the pirates ride, and when it goes down, it splashes you with water, and then it's always like, oh, the whole rest of the day, like I'm just walking around, like I don't know,
Mhm.
feeling drenched. I mean, the movement is. I wonder, can you opt for like it not to happen, or do you know that no matter what, it's going to just like move you around?
I think the only thing from what I've seen that they ask you is whether or not you want to get wet.
Okay, but then you're like twisting and turning, so like the
Yep.
motion sickness. I feel like that would be so not relaxing.
I don't know. Me personally, I'm sitting there eating my popcorn. Next thing you know, my seat shoots me and popcorn flying all over the place. Or I'm eating my candy because that's my treat. Is I eat candy because I try to eat healthy, or whatever. But when I
Yep.
go to the movies, my wife gets mad at me. But yeah, I'm gonna have my milk duds. I'm gonna have my Twizzlers because I can't get that every
Yes.
day. So,
I think the snow caps are elite.
huh?
I think snow caps are elite. I love snow
Yes,
caps.
yes, 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 definitely. So I'm sitting there eating my candy. Next thing you know, it's flying all over the place. I don't know. I kind of be upset. Like
Right.
really.
I think somewhere in the middle of like having an experience where it's like if the movie is like cold or having like a little bit of it or like the
Mhm.
scent of things is okay, but when you're like being flown about and as you said, like if your candy's flying, that is not.
And here's the thing too. Other people's stuff could be flying on you too. Because remember, all the seats are moving.
Yeah, I don't want that, and I just feel like maybe it would be fun for like a minute or two at the very end of like if there's like an action sequence, but to have that the whole time, not so much. I've been
You
seeing
walking
that
out,
around.
your clothes all wet. You got stuff all over you and stuff.
Yeah. But a quick ridiculous story is I just went to see Twister last week. My new thing is
Oh,
that I've joined the like or I'm about to join the AMC movie club, which is so geeky. But if anyone else, I don't know if you have, but like it's only $20. This is not an ad too. It sounds like an ad, but it's only $20 a month, and like I feel like I'm already paying $20 a month, and you could go see like a whole bunch of movies. Anyway, I've really loved like going to movies by myself lately. It's like so fun. I go during the day sometimes because I don't know. The joy of freelancing is that I can sneak away. So I went to go see Twister, and I was at the front desk, and the AMC now if you get like a little drink, it comes with a bag of popcorn, and
mhm.
I was so excited. I got the drink, and then I don't eat. I really don't like popcorn at all. And so the man was telling me from the concession stand, he was like, I don't know, you're gonna have to take this popcorn. I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, I don't want it. And I'm like, I can't just throw it away. Just like you guys keep it or something. And he's like, ma'am, I have to give you the popcorn. And so I was like, I don't know who I'm gonna give it to. And right at that moment, a random woman comes up to me, and I was like, I was the first one in line, but there's a whole bunch of people behind me. And she came up to me and she said, like, hey mama, I just want to let you know your skirt is like all the way up in the back. And like we can see
Oh,
like everything.
oh my God.
And I was by myself,
Oh,
and like I never feel like embarrassed, and I felt myself so like, oh my god, I felt like beyond red. And she said, I wanted to tell you before like everyone started taking videos and you found yourself like on a viral, you know. We could
oh,
have been, if thanks to her, like we could have been talking about me this week of me going viral for. And she was the only one out of like a million. Like I had walked down the stairs at the movie theater. I had
oh my
in
gosh.
concessions, like I don't even know. And she was so sweet. And right at that moment, I was like, "Oh my god! Like I have a bag of popcorn for you." So
Oh my God. And only one person said
one
something.
person, and it was like an awesome woman. And then we joked around because I'm not giving that content away for free at least. So that I tried my best to like recover. And then her boyfriend was like, thank you, nice to meet you. Like he didn't even want to look at me. But it had been like I was walking all around and I felt like I was hot stuff, like going into a movie all by myself. And I was just like, look at me, I'm an independent woman just ordering snacks and going to the movies in the middle of the day. And then I guess like I was showing everyone my buttered popcorn.
Oh my. Well, you know what? Thank goodness that woman actually came up and
She
said
was
something.
awesome, and so it's like people like her, she was really cool, and you could just tell she was like, that is like a woman's woman, where, of course, that's embarrassing for her to come up and tell me too, and you like, that's super awkward to tell a stranger that, but it's like, I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue. So, I guess, like, I don't need a movie seat like that because chances are already I don't even know, I'm thinking freaking enema is gonna happen basically if there's water on me, so, yeah.
Hey, the good thing is that you didn't go viral, so that's a good thing.
I know, thank God. There's like 2 days where I'm like, please do not let any like weird Burbank Reddit things happen. I was just waiting for my friends to be like, "Is this you?" So, it was bad, bad. So that was my Twister story. So I'm very happy that it was just a normal movie theater and not I didn't need like that day I did not need to be like thrown around after I was beyond embarrassed.
Well, you know what? You can laugh at yourself, so that's a good thing.
I definitely can. It was a cute movie too. I don't know if anyone's thinking about going to like just a kind of summer blockbuster. You know, we've all,
Mhm.
I'm sure most of us have seen the OG Twister, and I feel like this is a cute adaptation of it.
Nice.
So
I
yeah,
gotta check it out.
yeah, it's a good like family, like good to get out of the heat. I think it's cute.
Mhm. Cool. Cool, cool. It's your turn now.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh my gosh! After I just blabbed, that falls under too much information that I just needed to tell you. But I would be remiss if I didn't share my Twister story here. Um, okay, well, I think this is super fun. A uh, a man just won $1 million after he had a dream about playing the lottery and winning the jackpot. So Howard Kendall Jr. said that he had a dream about winning, and then he went to go. He's a Massachusetts resident. Now he had a dream about buying a $10. The ticket cost $10, but it would win him $4 million, a diamond scratch off ticket. So he decided
Mhm.
to make his dream come true. He bought a ticket from a 7-Eleven in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The ticket turned out to be a $1 million winner. Very cute. He said that he plans to share his winnings with his grandkids and his kids. So that's very cute. I'm always, I think we have talked about this before, but I'm always a little weirded out when like the lottery winners show their location and name now. You know, like I'm all for people's privacy, and like a little sweet old man, I feel like does not need to be on blast of now having like $1 million. But have you ever dreamt about winning the lottery?
All the time.
You
Uh,
do? Like not daydream, but like actually like dream.
you know what? I had a few dreams about winning the lottery. And of
Really?
course, oh yeah, then of course, you think about things you're gonna do, whatever. I never say out loud what I'm gonna do because I've noticed when people hit the lottery, it seems like the nastiness comes out
100%.
with your so-called, and I use the word so-called friends and so-called family because they show you a different side of them.
Yes, yes. I feel like there's been many like relationships go weird, family seems to get estranged, people lose their if there's like a science or a scientific studies that like people lose their lottery money really fast, you know?
Hmm. I mean, it's so crazy that in all honesty, besides if you're in a state where you don't have to identify yourself, I don't think you should.
Right.
Uh, Unfortunately, there are states where, in order to claim it, you have to identify yourself, which I don't think is right. But the worst thing you could do is talk about, oh, I'm gonna help family and friends and stuff. All of a sudden, you're gonna meet new family members you've never had before.
Yeah.
New, and then the other crazy thing too is some people are just ruthless. I remember years ago, it was this guy. I think he was homeless, um, and he won the lottery. I want to say he won. It was some amount like 15, 25 million, something like that.
Whoa.
And he got with this person that he thought cared about him, and what ended up happening was she ended up killing him for his money.
Oh my gosh.
Prior to that, he wasn't, because he was poor, he never really had money. So he never really
Oh,
knew how to manage money. And people walk up to him, hey, I need money for this, I'm about to lose my house, I'm about to this. And the thing is, most of the time it's bullshit. People
yeah.
just try to take advantage of him. But this woman ended up killing him to steal his money. And it's so sad because, when you win your money, you really don't know who to trust.
I know. And like a million is obviously that's like a huge chunk of money. But I feel like when you're a grandpa and you could just be like, sorry, I gave 500,000 to my kids, 500,000 to my grandkids. You could almost be like, hands clean. Like it's, that's almost, I mean, million is still so much, but I feel like that's almost feasible that it's like all locked up, like I'm not giving
Oh
out
yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars to people.
And the thing people don't understand too is even though he quote unquote won a million, he's not getting a million.
Right,
Because
right, right.
people
The
keep
taxes.
forgetting tax man gonna get his money first before you get your money.
Yes, exactly. So do you think it's like 700,000 that he would get then?
Realistic, I think it's probably around 600,000.
Oh man. And that
Because
goes so fast.
that tax is pretty high. But some people are like, oh, it's not fair. They steal his money. For me, I can't get mad at what I never had. Yes,
Yeah.
on paper you got $1 million, but you actually have 600. But did you actually have that 400,000 to lose in the first place?
Right, right. Yes. Yeah, I think that too. Now, do you think him dreaming, like having a dream about it, do you think that's like a sign of something, or do you think that's just his subconscious, or do you think it's like just pure coincidence?
Is 1,000% pure coincidence because I should have been rich a long time ago.
That's true. Because I was gonna say like that one story is of like he dreamt about the lottery, then he won, but then where's the millions of stories of all of us dreaming at night?
But you know what? I do congratulate him and I wish him luck in his life and keep the vultures away.
Yeah, keep the vultures away. And if I was him, I would like put it in a bank account for my grandkids and kids and just tell people like I'm going on one vacation and paying off my cars, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice good feel story. In fact, I got another feel good story to end up our episode. Kamala Harris.
Wow.
She is the superstar in politics right now.
Yep.
Over the last few days, they've been talking about a lot of stuff. Obviously, because she's the presumptive front runner for the Democratic Party, some personal things that come out, good things. Like for one, she loves to cook.
Yep.
She loves to dance. And I guess there were some people that call themselves trying to be mean to her, with the memes about her dancing and this and that. And what was so cool about it is, and this is probably a generational thing, but she didn't get angry. She embraced it. And people love it.
Yeah. And she changed her, like whoever is on her campaign now too. They changed her like Twitter or her X or whatever to like Brat Summer, and it's like lime green. And yes. And it's like, it's so funny to me seeing all these things like kind of converge. And like I saw a someone made up like a pretend like AI Beyonce song, but it was with her laugh, and I'm like, oh my god, that like now we've interchanged those things, and like just hearing it. And
the cool thing about that is her song that she walks out to at her campaigns is a Beyonce song. Oh, Beyonce really? Gave her permission to use her song.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's doing a good job from the beginning of just getting like Gen Z and making it, and why not? Like these things on TikTok, like the memes and the songs they're the ones that are getting like 7 million views and everything. So it's almost like a beyond free advertising just to have, all these memes and things. And the things that people are doing are so creative and like so funny that it just, these are the things that I'm like, okay, I do love the human race when we like come together like this. It's funny.
I love the fact that, what people meant to try and harm her with the memes, it's more like, okay, whatever, let me have some fun with it. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll be the dancing. And it's cool because it's having the opposite effect.
Yeah.
So instead of hurting her, it's actually helping her, making 100%. Her more popular, especially like you say with the millennials and the Gen Zers. And I'm like, wow, now that's what you call taking something bad and turning it into something beautiful.
Yep. And everyone's saying like, I'm having a coconut tree summer. It's just like it's like so unserious, but at the same time, like that will really help. And I think we were feeling and I say this once again, I say this coming from an apolitical place, but like this seems to have injected a little bit more pep in everyone's step, or everyone step up, just having a candidate that is like alert, awake and stuff like that. So I think that has been really helpful, and I think we're seeing a lot of new energy, because I didn't see a ton of like funny Joe Biden memes. It all seemed to be kind of like a little bit depressing and down. Um, so yeah, I think this is like very exciting. I hope Biden like gets to relax and just doesn't feel too terrible about kind of having to drop out. Like I hope he is able to like feel good about stuff. Even once again, like I say this, whatever, from not the most like loving him space either, but I think hopefully like it was a good decision for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. And people have to understand too, when a person gets to be a certain age, things like independence
Yeah.
and being able to take care of themselves, stuff like you know, somebody our age or younger, it's like whatever. But when you start getting up in age, those things you're very overprotectable, as far as
Yeah.
especially your independence, you know. And like I said, I think Kamala's going to do great. She's just blowing the water out. But I wasn't really happy about the way, Biden got treated up until the time he
I
decided to pull out.
know. I
You
know.
know,
It's like very sad and very like, yeah, it's sad and weird. And you just think, okay, if that was like my grandpa or something, I would feel so overprotective of him.
yeah.
But then now we have Coconut Tree Summer. So I love watching like Fox News being like, why would someone want to be a brat? Why is a brat summer? Like, and everyone's like, it's just like, it is like watching, sometimes you're like trying to explain things to your grandparents and they're like, I don't understand. I'm like, just get with it. Like, everyone should be on TikTok, and it doesn't even matter what age you are, because I see people that are in their 80s saying that they're having like a coconut tree summer. So, it's just the
Me
mindset.
personally, I like seeing that she dances. I like seeing she laughs at
Me
herself.
too.
I love seeing the hate. She loves to cook. You know what that does? That to me means that yes, she's a hell of a prosecutor. She's a hell of a political person, but she's also human. And that's
Yes.
something I think we're missing.
A
You know,
100%, 100%. Yeah, I saw some video of her like laughing hysterically because her meat wasn't defrosted, and like I think in the past, the little drips and drabs I've seen of her, the laughing and everything seemed like a little bit unhinged, or just a little bit like, who is this person? Just like kind of laughing maniacally. But I think the more that we get to see her and her personality, I think it will like fit in and make sense a little bit more, because I think in the past, all the media has really shown, or all I've really seeked out is like, or sought out is just her like laughing weirdly. But I think now I'm starting to see, okay, it is funny that like your meat is still frozen, so
oh yeah. And she comes from a diverse background because her mom is Indian and her dad is African American. So, she has a very unique ethnic background and she embraces that background, which I love.
me too, me too. And like for nothing else, also this being the chance for like Black women, Indian women, like to see that like a president, and that I want like our parents that are the older generation to be those who want to see a president like this in their lifetime, and I think that would be really cool. Like thinking about all the generations and all the people that just get to see this as an example, to me is like worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing too is, for those young girls that look like me,
Yeah,
because the thing is representation is very, very important.
right.
Because, as a African American father, you want to tell your child you could grow up to be president. Well, it's kind of hard for your child to see that unless they see someone in that position.
Yeah.
Like for a young girl, you can become president. Well, you've never seen it, so you can't really picture it. Well, she's vice president. She's
Yeah.
actually running for president now. You can see it. You can say, okay, you know what? That's me. I can do that. I
Yes.
think representation is so important. It really is.
Exactly. And I think this move engages like the LGBTQ community a little bit more, and everyone just
Mhm.
seems like a little bit more kind of injected with like, and even that, to me, like that's what Obama brought to at first, of like, we have
Mhm.
someone that's like fun and goes to basketball games and like who has an actual like personality, and I thought that was super cool. So I'm happy to see that again.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, you don't have to be so serious 24/7 either.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay to have fun. It's okay to laugh. You're not gonna die. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, but just like a politician changing their background to like headquarters of like that she's a brat, and it's just like it's so funny. But I do think in this day and age, like TikTok and social media have such a big weight on all of like what we're spending our time on and what we talk about, that it's just you have to like be able to meld the two.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So, yeah, it's actually going to be, to me, whether a person likes or dislikes, you definitely are going to have fun watching her.
Yeah.
You definitely have to give her her due and her respect.
Yes, but what a twist and turn, and I think this was a good one because it was starting to feel a little bit dreary. So I think this is like a good chapter in the book.
I agree with that 100%. Wow, what a great show!
Woo! We're having a coconut tree summer.
There you go. Do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, I do. I actually have one this coming weekend. It sounds so funny, but this is like there's a really popular diner in LA called Mel's Diner. Like it's a well-known diner, and so they do comedy there. Of course, to LA, so of course it happens everywhere. And I'm performing at Mel's Diner. So like as a little Jewish girl that loves diners, this is like a dream come true. So.
Well, everyone, this has been so much fun. What a crazy week, as we say. But the thing I've always said, and I'll keep saying it, we will never have things run out of things to talk about.
Right. Unless there's another like Microsoft glitch, then we like physically won't have stuff to talk about because we can't connect internet wise. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
That is true. Well, everyone, enjoy your day and make sure you have those thirsty conversations. Bye, everyone.